Hello and welcome to my new video. As you can see, the first rays of sunshine this year are here, which means the solar season has begun. And I want to take this opportunity to tidy up a bit around here. As you've seen in my recent videos, or in many of my recent videos, I've set up a kind of test system on my garage, and I'm using various substructures for it. I'll just show it to you. As you can see, it doesn't look very nice, and it's not set up very well either. Now I want to try something new here, and I have a new system here from Avoltic. The solar panel ballast mount. This mount allows us to optimally attach and secure the solar panels on the roof without damaging the roof surface. And here we can set up the system neatly so that everything has a certain order. Before I start working here, I'll first remove the old modules enough to have some space to work, and then I'll unpack the module system. And let's see what's in the box. The contents of the system depend, of course, on the setup you ordered. You can see I ordered the setup for 4 modules, and here you can see what's included. The first thing I notice here, of course, are the 6 base rails. These are extremely sturdy and made of aluminum, which means they won't rust. And on the base rails, there are ethylene propylene Dini monomer protective rubber strips. This is the protective rubber here. This can be slid back and forth on the rails and ensures that the rails don't rest directly on the roof surface. What I especially like about this system is that I can move the base rubber strips, so I can adjust them to my needs on my roof. Because as you can see, I have various grooves and elevations on my roof, and I can easily work around them using these rubber strips. And this ensures that the system still sits properly on the roof. We also now have the option for water to drain properly from the roof underneath the system. And so the manufacturer has basically thought of everything here. To install the system here on my roof, I will mount 2 base rails one after the other. That means the base rails are simply screwed together here in sequence using this mounting material. That way, I can install 2 modules in succession on my roof. I also really like the total length of these 2 base rails. When put together, they have a length of 2 meters and 52 centimeters. That fits perfectly on my prefab garage. Once I've screwed the 2 base rails together, the module supports will be installed here. These will be attached to the base rails here using the fastening clamp blocks. That means we simply slide the supports on here just the way you need them. For example, you can install the modules in a roof shape, or like me, simply place the module supports one after another here and screw them in at the appropriate spots. The distance between the module supports naturally depends on the size of your modules. Here you need to measure what kind of modules you have. I've now attached my supports here accordingly and repeat this step on all the other base rails. Next, we'll move on to attaching the base rails to the roof. Of course, we can't drill into the roof surface here, which means we can only secure the base rails with weight. The manufacturer came up with something clever. Here we have these aluminum sheets. We place them in the upper area of the mounting rails, and now we can add weights accordingly. I'll use concrete as the weight here, meaning concrete blocks or paving stones, and that way I'll weigh down the system. To answer the question of how much weight you should use here, I can just share an experience-based value with you. Since I've been operating such modules here for a while, I've come to the conclusion that I need to apply at least 20 kilograms of weight per square meter so that the modules don't get blown away in a storm. In my case, I've decided to use at least 50 kilograms per square meter of module area here. That way I should be on the safe side. I'm using paving stones and other concrete blocks here. One of these paving stones weighs about 4 kilos. So you have an idea of how much weight you need to use here. Now that I've secured everything accordingly, let's move on to our photovoltaic module. I have here a photovoltaic module with an approximate size of 2 meters by 1 meter 18. These are 500 watt modules. I'll just place them here now. As you can see, I've now placed the module here, and at this point I'd also like to give you a little update. Because as you can see, in my opinion, my module is sagging too much. That means I live in an area with a lot of snow, so when it snows, it really snows. We must also expect up to 30 or 40 centimeters of snow on the modules. That puts a lot of weight on the modules, of course, and here the module is really sagging way too much for me. So now I'm going to change my project a bit, and I won't use the 3 mounts to install 4 modules here anymore, but instead I'll use the 3 mounts to install only 2 modules accordingly. That means I'll simply place the 3rd mount in the middle of the module, giving me extra reinforcement and an additional support point. And with that, my module shouldn't sag anymore, because now I only have a maximum span of about 1 meter here. And here, it's much less likely that anything will sag anymore. In the next step, we need to secure our modules. There are matching clamp module holders or module clamps for this. These are simply screwed on here with these Allen screws, and that way you've optimally attached and fastened the module to the supports. In the next step, I just need to connect the modules and they can be put into operation right away. So finally, let's come to a brief conclusion about the Avoltik solar panel ballast mounting substructure. You can now see the fully assembled system here. As I said, I have another support here placed in the middle, and now you can see the system is rock solid. The setup was very easy, as you saw. In just a few minutes, the system is set up and the photovoltaic modules are installed as well. The slight tilt keeps the modules from shading each other, even when aligned, and it's not even spring yet. And you can see here the photovoltaic modules are working optimally in terms of weight. As you can see, I've added a lot of weight. That means we've added about 240 to 250 kilos of weight here. I'm always a bit careful with that. Like I said, I've already seen photovoltaic modules hopping around on the roof here. Accordingly, my motto is better to add 20 kilos more than 10 too few. In this case, I've basically put at least 70 kilos of weight per square meter here. So nothing should happen anymore as a result. If you, for something like this, or do you prefer the version I set up here before? In my opinion, this at least has some style now, looks very reasonable, and is also something of value. And accordingly, with the support protection here, I've properly protected my roof, because before, the module supports were sometimes just standing on the roof like this. That sometimes even sank into the surface here and may have even damaged my roof. So, that's pretty much it for this video. At this point, an important note. This system was kindly provided to me by the manufacturer for testing and trying out. If you liked my video or found it helpful in any way, I'd of course appreciate a thumbs up. And do you want to watch more of my videos? Subscribe to my YouTube channel, it's free. Goodbye for now. See you next time. Yours, Mark, on YouTube.